Donald Trump has unveiled sweeping tariff changes in pharma and tweaked the structure in metals in a bid to boost the domestic production and tighten the national security controls. On metals, the U.S. will retain the 50% tariffs on steel, aluminium and copper, now calculated on full transaction value to prevent underreporting. However, the derivatives product faced 25% tariffs. But along with that, big announcements coming in for Pharma as well, as he announced 100% tariffs on patented drugs and ingredients. Let me take it across to my colleague Sumita for more details.
That's right. Continuing with his tariffs policy, U.S. President Donald Trump has, of course, unveiled a new set of tariffs, 100% tariffs as far as the pharma segment is concerned. Remember, these will be imposed on the branded segment. These will not be imposed on the generic medicine segment. Now, as far as these tariffs are concerned, well, patented medicines and their active ingredients, they face 100% tariffs. And in fact, in the statement that's been issued by the U.S. administration, these 100% tariffs are on companies which are not manufacturing in the United States and are not reducing prices for U.S. customers. And then, of course, there are several versions. There are several clauses as well. So a 20% tariff applies to companies which promise to move production, and a 0% tariff is applicable on companies that are already producing in the United States and have reduced prices as well. Now, it's important to note that this step is being taken by the U.S. president, and pharma tariffs, as you'd know, have been kept out of the IEEPA tariffs and other sorts of tariffs. Up till now, investigations have been going on, but this time around, these tariffs have been imposed because Donald Trump, the U.S. president, wants these pharma companies to manufacture in America, to set up bases in America, and of course, they want these companies to do these deals with America. So, which is why we have seen over the past couple of months, at least 13 companies have signed a drug pricing agreement, and that is something that President Donald Trump has claimed. Now, it's also important to understand that these tariffs are applicable on generic medicines. What this essentially means is that India will not be having any immediate impact. Besides, of course, some companies like Sun Pharma, for example, they have huge stakes there. But other than that, India's large part of pharma exports to the U.S. are in the generic medicine segment. So, of course, there is no immediate impact which can be seen. But yes, there are concerns that if these tariffs that are not at present imposed on generic medicine segment, will Donald Trump administration or will the U.S. president be including the generics segment in the future as far as these tariffs are concerned? So that remains to be seen.
All right, thank you so much, Samita, for getting us all those details. So yes, on the back of that, all these pharma counters to be washed out in today's trading session, and especially Sun Pharma and Zydus Life. But with this,